to our next story of the day, and our first time about Sri Lanka. This, to me, was one of the most disturbing articles I found today. Let me see your curfew pass. Oh, that's just so cringy. So this is the picture of the day. The soldiers are stopping people for a pass. And so, as it says, an army officer is seen checking the curfew pass of a motorbike rider. Police and army apprehend those who do not possess a curfew pass using roadblocks on major roads. So, wow. I mean, that's just like almost North Korean dictatorship, total authority that's going on. And it scares me that that may be implemented in other places. So, my question for you is, well, in my case, I remember back when I had a hall pass in elementary school, where oh, you're outside your class. Where's your hall pass? Oh, you don't have one. No, you go to the principal's office. We're calling your mom. Well, in this case, you're going to jail. So, what are your thoughts on mandatory curfew passes now, or for perhaps forever? And keep in mind, the government could easily do this. They could just say, register at a website, then print this out, or use a mobile app and then show this to people. So anyway, leave your comments below on that. I'd be very interested to hear. To the next topic of the day brings us to our first article for me about New Zealand. New Zealand puts a new strict ban on people. New Zealand's lockdown officially bans swimming, hunting, and surfing. There is no doubt that fishing, swimming, surfing, and hunting and tampering are banned under new lockdown laws. Kiwis has previously been advised not to take part in these activities during the lockdown, but the ban was made official in a fresh law released on the government website today. People cannot leave their home to hunt, tramp, swim, take part in any water-based activities such as surfing or boating, or do anything that may put them in danger or require help from rescue services. The director basically said issuing this health notice was to ensure its success to help move the country out of lockdown sooner than possible. So, growing up, my mom would tease me that I should feel lucky that I could go out and swim, as children in North Korea couldn't. Heck, they couldn't hunt due to starving and no food. How would you feel about this type of lockdown? Are your rights being stripped away? Please post and let me know below. Okay, moving on to our next story of the day. How Google's been tracking Kiwis during lockdown. So we just learned there is a lockdown, and now we're going to learn how it's being enforced. Now New Zealand's mostly staying home during the lockdown, with trips to supermarkets down by 54% and transport hubs by 84%, according to the new data reported from Google. Google has been tracking New Zealand's movements to show how often we were going to work, parks, supermarkets, transport hubs during the lockdown. The tech giant recently released the community mobility reports for 131 countries, saying it had heard from public officials that the data would be useful in responding to the bug. The report for New Zealand is based on Sunday, March 29th, the fourth day of the lockdown. It compares the data from Sunday with the average Sunday being January 3rd, 1st through the 6th of this year. It showed that New Zealand's trips to retail and recreation facilities, such as restaurants, cafes, shopping centers, and libraries, were down by 91%. Trips to groceries and pharmacies were down 54%. Trips to park, beaches, and public gardens were down 78%. And visits to transport hubs, such as buses and train stations, were dropped by 84%. I will have a few comments on this in a second, but Let's move on with it. Okay, my thoughts on the Google app and Google spying. Sure, every Apple and everybody else might be doing the same thing, but here's my takeaway. Google Apps tracking New Zealand residents to help enforce social distancing laws. Remember how China hated Google and it moved its stations from mainland China to Hong Kong to give the Hong Kong people free speech. Then it went back to China after it agreed to make a new search engine to monitor an engine for them, the social credit score one. So it sounds like that it's getting paid, not only paid to spy, but it's now sending what it made in China out to other countries and making a profit off of that. And then on top, so keep in mind they're profiting off of spying, non-American values. And keep in mind also that AT&T did this after 9/11 with the Freedom or Patriot Act, where they were spying on those people, phone calls, and nobody knew. Okay, so this is just an enhanced form of spying on your citizens. And then again, for freedom, this is wrong. And then keep in mind too, Amazon listens with this Bixby. We've already had those examples on TV where some people had little dirty conversations or not, and then other people call them, then they were published on the news. So how do you feel? My question for you, how do you feel about always being watched or spied on? You are not free. I myself have stopped carrying my phone outside for a long time now, and that's true. You know, I never liked being, hey, how did you like this place you visit? How did you like that? I never really liked being monitored. So when I go out, I've almost never that people steal cell phones anyway. So I value my freedom more than I value having a tracker, like a puppy with a electrode in its head. Anyway, one more story to come up, and let's have a good day. Hi. The small clip you saw was brought to you by Loyal World News. If you like what you saw, you should subscribe and look up my daily Loyal World News report for its full version. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, prefer to be on the road, I also have a podcast in every full-length video I put up.